Hello and welcome to this automation tutorial where I'm going to show you how you can integrate this Claude module into make.com. I'm also going to discuss how much it costs to actually use this Claude module and how exactly to set it up. So I'm sure if you're watching this video, you probably already know what Claude is, but just in case you don't, Claude is an amazing AI tool that's really good at writing. So for example, if you want to write a blog post or if you want to write any social media post, it is outstanding for that. It's also great at responding to customer queries in case you want to integrate Claude into a workflow that, responds and interacts with customers. And it's also amazing at coding. So it's kind of an AI that can do pretty much anything, and it's a direct competitor to ChatGPT, which is kind of like its more popular brother. And it comes from a company called Anthropic, and they make this excellent AI model. So I'm going to show you exactly how you can use Claude within your automated scenarios. So the first step is actually to log into make.com. And once you're logged in, you just go and create a new scenario. And then you're here with this blank slate. And what you want to do is click on this big plus icon over here and then type in Claude. And you'll see Anthropic Claude pop up over here. If you click on this, then you'll see there's two different actions you can do. The first one is create a prompt, which is the one we're going to be using within this example. And the second one is make an API call. This one's a bit more complex. I'm going to leave it out of this video, as this is just to show you how you can set up Claude and get to using it. So you want to click on create a prompt. And I'm already connected, right? Because I've used Claude in previous workflows before. But when you do this, you're going to get prompted to kind of create a connection. And it'll look like this with the connection name and then the API key. I'm going to show you exactly how you can go and get this API key so you can go and connect all of this up into your make.com account. Awesome. So to go and get this API, the first thing you need to do is go type in Claude API into Google. And then you'll get this page over here which shows you build with Claude. If you just click on that, it will take you to this page here. And this is the developer section of Claude where it will allow you to access the API. So you click on this start building option, and then it should prompt you to log in. I'm just going to log in really quick. Awesome. So once you're logged in, and by the way, you can log in with your Claude account or you can just go create a new account, you should come to this page over here. And this is where you can get your API key. You can write a prompt. This page here, the console on Claude, is amazing for prompt engineering. It's basically where I write all my prompts. And I'm going to make a separate video on how you can use this tool to write some of the best prompts for your workflows. But for now, I'm just going to show you how to get it integrated. So once you're on this work page here, you go and click on Get API Keys. So this is the page where all your API keys are going to be stored. Think of an API key as kind of like a string of numbers and letters that let Claude know that you're the one making this call. It's your account making this call. So this is how they know who to bill the actual usage bills to. So this key is directly linked to your account and you need to create one to connect up to make.com. So you go over here and you click create a key, and let me just click it over here, and then you go to select a workspace. You can just select default and then name your key. I will just name it make.com so it's super clean and you know what you've connected your key up to. Once you've gone and created the key, you can just copy it. I've already got one called make.com, so I didn't go and create one. You just go and copy your key, and then we can flick back to make.com and you just paste your key into the API key section over here and then click save. All right, so now that we've got our API key, we've got our Claude module set up because we put the API key in. We know exactly how the billing works. If you're running on the free trial, then great. Or if you've added money in, then even better. And now you come to this module and this is how you can configure it. Well, the first thing we're going to look at is the model that we want to use. Now, each model is used for a different purpose. So you can see there are numerous different models over here. So the main difference is some of them are better at doing some things than others, and price is the probably number one factor and the biggest difference between these models. So I'm going to explain exactly what price we're going to have for these models and also what they're best for. So here's the pricing page for all the different models Anthropic offers. So we have Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which is their flagship model. So this one is really, really good for writing. Like I use this for all the blog posts that I write, all the different types of captions that I write for social media posts. This is all done by Claude because that's what it is. It sounds super natural versus like ChatGPT and other AI models. So this is their flagship model, and it will obviously be one of the more expensive models. So input is $3 per million tokens and output is $15 per million tokens. So what this means is if you input, so you've given as a prompt 750,000 words, that's almost approximately equivalent to 1,000,000 tokens. That will cost you $3. And if it returns, so in the actual response to your prompt, it gives you 750,000 words, that's $15. Now this is obviously based on how much you use it. So if you only input like 75 words, then that would be less. And if it only outputs 75 words, that'll be less. So it kind of works based on that proportion. So that's how these pricings work for these AI models. They're all pay per usage. So Claude 3.5 is pretty much the only model of Claude that I actually use. Because then we come down to Claude 3.5 Haiku. This is their cheaper model. So this is like way more cost effective, as you can see, than Claude 3.5 Sonnet. So it's only 80 cents per 1,000,000 tokens or $4 per 1,000,000 tokens. It's way, way cheaper. But I don't really find it that useful because I never really want to use Claude 3.5 Haiku, because when I compare it to the pricing of GPT-4o Mini, which is ChatGPT's smaller, cheaper, more affordable model, it's much, much cheaper than Haiku, right? So the input is 15 cents and the output is 60 cents. And as you can see, it's 80 cents versus $4. So given this is way, way cheaper for 1,000,000 tokens than Haiku, I normally use ChatGPT 4o Mini for the normal tasks that I want to use, that, generic tasks like can you order this in this sort of sentence, or, anything else that's a simple task essentially. I use GPT 4o Mini. And when I want to write stuff, or I want to write some really high quality blogs, that's when I use Claude 3.5 Sonnet. This is more comparable to GPT 4o, and GPT 4o is slightly cheaper than Claude 3.5 Sonnet. So it's $2.50 for 1,000,000 tokens input and $10 for 1,000,000 tokens output. And as you can see here, this is $3 and $15. So Claude 3.5 Sonnet is a little bit more expensive. So if you're scrolling through this page, you also might notice Claude 3 Opus. I don't really see the point in Claude 3 Opus, and if someone in the comment section knows more than I do about it, more than happy to hear it out. But the input tokens are $15 per 1,000,000 and 75 per 1,000,000 tokens output. Whereas Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which they do state is their most intelligent model to date, is cheaper. So I don't really see any point on why you would use Claude 3 Opus. It just seems to be a bit of an out-of-date model. So I would only focus on using one of these two models over here. And like I said, I namely just use Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Awesome. So now that we know how much each model costs, all the pricing, so you can kind of make an educated decision on which model you'd like to use, you can now set it up. So I'm going to use Claude 3.5 Sonnet, as that is my favorite model from Anthropic. The max tokens is the number of max tokens you're going to use within this one call. So I normally just set it at like 3,000. I don't normally kind of worry about max tokens when I'm building automations unless it's quite a small task. I just kind of leave it as a high number. 3,000 is typically quite a high number, and you can always turn it up if your answers come truncated or they're a little short. And then role, we can put as user over here. This means you're just essentially querying the model. So it'll be very similar to, let me see if I have it open. I do not, so let me open it up. So if I go claude.ai, you can see over here, that basically when you type something in here, you're typing that in as a user. And when it responds to you, that is essentially, it's responding to you as an assistant. So we want to just select user because we're just using it just as a normal standard chatbot. And then content, we want to select content type as text. If you're using any of these other types, you can obviously change that, but I'm just going to use text for super simplicity. And then let's give it an example prompt of like, get me a 10-day workout for losing weight, for example. This is just like how you'd add a prompt into Claude. If I click save and then run this module. Awesome. So now the model has ran, and I'm just going to show you exactly what this looks like. So we put in the content over here. Get me a 10-day workout for losing weight. That's the prompt we put in. Of course, you'd want a much better prompt than that. I'm just giving you an example. And then you go to content over here and you go to text. And as you can see here, it has given us a 10-day workout for, losing weight and, managing our weight. Just super simple. It's exactly like you going here and typing in, give me a 10-day workout for losing weight. It'd be exactly the same thing as basically doing this, because this is using 3.5 Sonnet as well. So that's how you can connect the Claude module into make.com. This is great for integrating within more complex workflows. You can check out the rest of my videos if you're more interested in seeing how this module can be integrated within larger workflows. And if you enjoyed this video, it'd help out a ton if you could interact with it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.